to do is I'm going to share this to your page. Hello, everybody. This is DJ April Showers of Joliet, Illinois, and I have Miss Activist Loretta Hobbs, and I am so grateful and blessed to have her. I've known Loretta since she was a young child. If you could give me a few minutes, Loretta, I want to share the show to people, and if you want to, you can talk. But I'm going to share. I'm going to put it on your post because it is on my Facebook Live. But I'm getting ready to share it. Okay. To your file. To your page.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I just shared it to your page.
I got it. Got it.
Okay. Okay. And so, hello, Bishop Evans. How are you? How are you? I'm going to try to interview you this week. Okay.
I'm sorry, the double feedback. I turned my phone off.
Yeah, you have to turn your phone off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, we got people that's already in, so that's good. So first thing I want to do, I did identify myself. My name is Darlene April, also known as DJ April Showers. And what I like to do is for people that's in Joliet, Illinois, I like to help them with promoting their music. And I do podcasts. And then I like to help out. I help out with I've Been Mended organization with the volunteers. And I help Miss Daphne Sims Washington. And so then I am a member of Leap of Faith Ministries with Bishop Steve Evans and First Lady Alicia Evans. And so if you can go ahead, Miss Loretta, and tell the audience about yourself.
Hello, my name is Loretta Hobbs. I have been living in Joliet for 39 years. I was born and raised in Joliet. I also went to Southern Illinois University Carbondale, Saluki alumni, and also went to Colorado Tech University, where I have an MBA. And I'm currently involved with another group. I have somebody knocking on my door. I don't know. It's the maintenance guy outside. I am so sorry.
Okay. Just mute everything, and then I'll keep talking to the audience until you. Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Darlene April of Joliet, Illinois, and Miss Hobbs had to go answer an important knock at her door, and so we are going to be interviewing her, and Loretta is going to be stating her mission and what she wants to do to help the city of Joliet, and then she will be telling us about her organization that she is starting, and she is looking for people to join her and to help her. And we are just waiting on her to come back, and I just thank everybody for tuning in. I'm going to be covering this story, and I'm going to be interviewing everybody that's in this to get this mayor of Joliet removed, to get their viewpoints and why they feel he should be removed. And of course, we all know why, because we did see the video on why the mayor should be removed. And then he had a history of being a crooked cop. Okay, Miss Loretta, she is back. And so you can go ahead and finish telling us about yourself. You said you had a BA from Southern Illinois University.
I have a
correct.
I have a bachelor's in science, a bachelor's of science in workforce education and development. And then at Colorado Tech University, I have a master's in business administration with a concentration in human resource management.
Okay. So we do have a college educated woman that is working on some issues, and they did try to paint Miss Loretta Hobbs as she was a woman not worthy of anything. So we just wanted to get that myth out of the way. She is a very highly intelligent, educated woman. And even if she was not intelligent, even if if she was not all that educated, as long as she was working on a cause that is focusing on injustices of people of color, that would be all that we would be concerned about. Okay, so I want you to tell me a little bit about what is your mission right now at this time?
Our mission for our group, which is called And Just US Us for All, our mission is to bring attention to and raise awareness on all the racial injustices taking place in the city of Joliet, Illinois, as well as around the country. We pride ourselves on educating the public community on matters such as social, political, economic, judicial, educational, financial, civil rights, civil liberties, and creating strategic reforms for our communities, for both Black and Brown.
Okay, now can you repeat the name of your organization very slow in case people want to write it down? And
Okay.
can you tell them how they can join?
Right now we're in the early stages of getting the organization together. We just started putting it together sometime in the middle of last week. So we will be formulating to bringing people in as members as we get everything like in our incorporation, our 501c, and everything like that, and get our EIN number, all that other stuff that we need to get it up running. And also, with that being said, we'll probably place some board of directors or with this organization, because we also need that information for tracking purposes and anything that goes where we have to deal with filing for the 501c. So you can actually track us on Twitter, and the name is and just JUST us US for all. We're also on Facebook, and we also have a email account just in case you want to get a hold of us by email, and it's and just us for all, the number 4 all 20 at gmail.com.
Okay, Joliet, now we need some willing citizens from all walks of life and all colors. We need you to help Miss Loretta Hobbs with building up her organization to fight injustices for the people of Joliet, Illinois. So really need you.
Yeah.
Okay. So what does your organization plan to accomplish? We do know the first thing that you're doing is you are trying to get the mayor removed.
Yes. Currently we were protesting back on May 31st. And it was for Keenan Millsap, which there was a video back on May 21st, which it shows Joliet Police Department beating a man inside a squad car already handcuffed. And the reason for us protesting in front of Joliet Police Station was because we already knew the police department wasn't transparent about the stuff that has been happening within our neighborhoods. And the reason why they're not doing it being transparent is because currently the Joliet Police Department does not have what they call body cams. I was told the reason why I didn't get body cams is because they didn't have a budget for it. And I know for a fact that the federal and state had grants for all police departments to get that. And they just need somebody to be able to get that and write those grants up for them to get it. The only reason why they don't want to get the body cams at this point in time because of what they're doing now, which is police brutality to, yeah, I'm sorry, a little tongue tied today. But yes, they're brutalizing our brown and black people in the neighborhoods within Joliet.
Okay,
And right
so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen,
now,
and I am going to show the first this is when they were. Now, did you want to tell people what this is the day of which protest right here?
right, this was the day of the protest that was in front of the Joliet Police Department from the time of 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. I was
Mhm.
I was notified by the news, as you can see in the second page of the article. It says protest amidst riot rumors. The narrative that the Joliet Police Department and the mayor um, insinuated was that I was coming down there to tear down the Joliet Police Department, which was not true. As you can see, there's police on top of the.
Right.
They were just not just on top of the Joliet Police Department. The people, and they had people on the city hall. They had people standing on top of the Joliet Harris parking garage. Also, you could see.
All right, I see those two people standing on top in the background there.
So they thought we were getting ready to riot, and that was not our intentions. Our intentions was to come there and get why they haven't been really. I know they get those filmed. I know for some reason when they come into the office, they see a person with a black eye. I know there was questions. There had to be questions by the commanding officers or whatever. Who was over those officers who arrested the young man? The man in the picture, as you could see, in his mugshot, he has a black eye. He didn't have that black eye prior to coming down. That black eye was given to the young man at the time that Burnell Simmons was videotaping as they were beating the young man inside the car. And as
Okay,
you
do we have a copy of that video?
sure do, you want me to send it to you? I can send
No,
it.
you can show it right now. What you have to do, well, you can send it to me because I can tell you how you can share the screen.
Okay.
You can pull it up. Hold on.
Okay.
This is what I like about this. So I'm ready to stop my screen.
Okay.
At the bottom,
It says share screen.
where it says share screen, you press on that.
Okay. I'm sorry, let me get to my.
Oh wow, somebody's phone is working. They are having issues with all servers today. With phone service today.
Yeah. So you want me to? Oh Lord.
So it says share screen.
But
and then you click on that black box. Where it says the Chrome tab, you press on that.
Okay, so it's on Facebook.
Is there?
It's on Facebook. I would have to go to Facebook to get it.
Okay, yeah, go to your Facebook.
Okay, I'm going and signing in now because I'm not signing on my phone. I'm not.
Yeah, we're very patient people. I'm old, so I got a lot of patience now.
Here we go. Let me see.
Okay. Yeah, just where it says share screen, and when you go in that box, you hit the Chrome your tab, whether it's the Chrome tab or hit the Facebook screen, and it should pop right up.
Let me get to that video.
Once you get to it, just take your time.
All right. Let's see, 21st. Oh Lord, I didn't post a lot of stuff. Boy, I swear I didn't post a lot of
Just
stuff.
take
Y'all
your
not
time.
even believe. All right. I didn't even know I had that many videos. Jesus. I have a lot of videos here.
Mm-mm. And
Yay.
we really need everyone to please watch all of the videos that I will be doing, because I'm going to make people aware. Loretta will be giving me all of the information. So there will be no excuse that anybody does not know anything about any time they are going to meet, or
Mhm.
anything that they will be doing if they will be going down to City Hall. So we want to share and just let people know exactly what's going on too. Okay, did it come up yet?
Oh, I am now into June 1st. I think I'm almost there.
Okay, yeah, you're fine.
I'm almost there.
Mhm.
I have a lot going on here. Yep, I'm in June. It's almost there. Okay.
And also, I want to stress to all of people of color, remember that they are going to send distractions to us,
Yep.
keep people divided. We have to keep a united front. We don't care
Yes.
anybody's past. We don't care what anybody has done. The only thing we are focused on now is bringing out awareness about Joliet police and the mayor for assaulting black men. And so just be aware that they are going to send distractions to keep
Mm-hmm.
us divided. I'm not.
Mm-hmm. I know
So
that's right.
keep your eye on the prize and be mindful that they are going to send people. They're going to send people to Loretta. They're going to probably send people at me. I don't care. They can talk about my past. Everybody got a past. I'm proud of where I've been. So to get where I'm at today. And so they're going to send all kind of distractions
Mm-hmm.
to keep us from focusing on the problems that we have here in Joliet of the racial injustices. So just be mindful of that. And I tell that to anybody that's working on any injustice. You know, the devil is busy and they
Yeah.
are going to send distractions. People don't want to lose their jobs. Some people think they are untouchable. And some people are just racist. It is what it is. And they're not going to change. But we will make them change.
Okay, I'm going to share that entire screen. Yep. That's it. And you said go to Google Chrome, and here we
Well,
go.
where it says share screen, you
Mm-hmm.
can click on that.
Can you see now?
Okay, I can see it now. Hold on. Let me bring it. Okay.
Okay.
So right here, now if you can expand it.
Yeah, I am. Right.
Mm-hmm. So this, would you tell them the video you're about to
Let
show?
me go back.
Okay.
This video was recorded on May 21st. You can see they're beating the young man in the back of that car. But watch, as you go through this, you'll see them pulling the young man out of the car. They have been beating on him. See?
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason why they stopped, see?
Mm-hmm.
See, watch. See? They looked at Brunel, and that's when they stopped.
Right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
These are the scenarios that we see, and this young man was crying on the video because he said that I'm scared to go to work every day. And that's what allowed me to get in contact with this man that went live on it was early morning, like I said, May 31st, and I had contact to reach out to him, and I felt compelled because he is an African American man. He works for Will County, and I knew I could tell that he needed that comfort, and I was able to provide him that comfort at that time. And I told him I think we should do a protest in front of the Joliet police station because this is where it's happening at the police station. I mean, we know that the crime was committed by JPD, but we want to bring awareness to the Joliet Police Department. They said that they asked the young man about the incident, and they told me at the time that the young man wasn't talking. Why? Okay, my thing is he wouldn't talk to you because we see it on a daily. His mental capacity at this time is like, it wouldn't matter if I told my story or not, because y'all do this all the time and nothing, and y'all don't get charged for the crime beating me. And that's where I see a lot of our young men in the black and brown community. They feel that they don't have a voice to speak up about these injustices that happen when they're arrested, which is common. It's caused post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, panic attacks, major depression. It caused all kinds of things on all kinds of certain levels, which becomes an issue. You have young men committing suicide, hide on drugs, because they're trying to get away from that pain.
Right.
And I understand that pain.
Have you guys contacted any federal authorities to bring them in, or to
Actually,
bring them in?
Actually, there were several tips filed at the FBI.gov. People have contacted FBI 312-421-6700. That's the Chicago local office for the FBI under tips. It's under tips. We also have wrote several letters to the Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission, Supreme Court of Illinois, to have Mayor Bob Odekirk to get disbarred. He was impersonating a police officer, which is a federal and state crime. Then the aggravated assault, and then he sat back and let the Joliet Police Department in a mob action beat up on those young men that were outside on May 31st, which they were peacefully protesting. They wasn't engaged in any violence, which was on near Speedway and Silver Spoon, which is the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to get back to their cars, and Bob Odekirk, who has a past, they used to call him Thumper O, used to beat up on people back in the day in the 1990s. I don't believe that James Glasgow can be impartial at this time, because his rise to fame and his conviction rate was because of Bob Odekirk and the rest of his cronies who are currently in white shirts at this time at the Chicago police station. And I also believe Darnell Gavin, who the reason why I do believe that Bob Odekirk really either quit or they asked him to resign or whatever the case might be. I do believe that incident that happened in 2001, and they had finally went to a court. He ripped a young man's mouth. Him and Darnell Gavin was the arresting officers. So they had to drop a bunch of counts to keep this man. I don't want to reveal the young man's name who this happened to, because I don't know what psychological issues or mental issues this man is going through.
Did he receive compensation?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Sure. I know that some of the counts that they charged him with was removed, and now
they can't find his records, right? Mysteriously, all of his personnel records have come up missing.
And that's something I really wanted to discuss about.
Okay, so what
Um,
Miss Loretta is getting ready to do is she's going to take you through the mayor of Joliet, which his name is Bob Odenkirk, and he was a police officer. And when he was a police officer, he had all kind of allegations against him, and mysteriously, those records, his personnel files, have come up empty. So go ahead, Miss Loretta.
okay. There is federal laws. I'm not going to go into them. There's Pacific Employment Acts. Can you still see my face, or no? I have to go back and unshare. Here we go. There's Pacific Acts
Okay.
to record keeping, record.
If you want to bring anything else on the screen, feel free to do that.
Okay, so I thought I had it right here. There's certain acts within employment that HR has to keep records of, especially when it comes to the Joliet Police Department. State doesn't matter because it's a Freedom of Information Act that anybody can go get. The fact that the stuff is lost, my question would be at this point to find out each and every human resource person who works in the city of Joliet Police Department,
Mm-hmm.
if they currently are certified through the Society of Human Resource Management, or HRCI. And the HRCI, those professional certifications are Professional Human Resources and Senior Professional Human Resource certification. If they have any of those certifications, I could write to the boards there and ethically have their certifications removed. It's actually against the law. So people know about this book. It's like an exam guide. It has all the different acts of record keeping and all that, everything about employment laws and record keeping. So my thing is to find out who those individuals are so I can start writing my paperwork up. Because to me, you shouldn't be holding a certification that certifies you on an HR level, human resource level. And some other things that I want to see I want to be done is dismantle our JPD. I believe at this point, with James Glasgow being his rise to his conviction rate, I don't believe he could be impartial to the investigation. I do believe at this point the state police need to step in, and we need to dismantle JPD and start all over. And that means hire people, establish a new police force that has a lot of diversification. We don't have a lot of, I don't see a lot of African American females on the force. I don't see a lot of Hispanic females on the force. I do not see a lot of, I don't see a lot of women, period, on the force. I don't see a lot of African American men or women who sit in higher seats at this time.
Okay.
I understand that I guess Brad Price is now the new commissioner. And here we go with the quid pro quo. If you do something for me, I'll do something for you. And that's a lot of stuff that I see that's happening within our council too. A lot of people are not speaking up. And I do want to talk about something that happened on June 9th.
Please go ahead. The show's all yours. Go ahead.
On June 9th, June 9th, I had set up 24 hours ahead of time to speak at the council meeting on June 9th. I received a call from the council member telling me that we're going to put you on mute until it's your turn, blah, blah, blah. And then when it's your turn, Bob Odenkirk will ask me for my name and address. So if you look at that video, it's 17 minutes and 50 seconds into that whole video. It's the first 17 minutes of the video of the actual council meeting. You'll hear for about not even a minute me speaking and saying that the Joliet Police Department needs body cams. And I asked the question, why hasn't he considered to resign? He said it was that he put me on mute, and then he came back and asked me was all I had to say, and I said yes. Then you hear him saying to the council members, why had these calls vetted?
What did he say?
He said, why aren't the calls vetted? Because he knew exactly who I was.
Okay.
Bob Odenkirk knew exactly who I was when he got that question. So the reason why he's saying that, why I was in the calls vetted, is because he really didn't want to speak to me. Because on June the 2nd, he tried to evade me in conversation, telling me he wanted to be transparent with me and talk to me and all this stuff, and he was not. So the young people that were at the Larkin and Jefferson Street stopped him for leaving because he said he wanted to drink water. They stopped him. They said, oh, we got plenty of water around here. Like they had coolers and stuff. So they stopped. And I finally came up there and I kind of told him, you know, the disappointment I had with him. I'm just summing something up. It's not actual words. You'll see that video too. I had that on my page.
Okay. You can show the videos to the audience. We can.
I am. Soon as
okay.
So I just like I told him that I didn't like the fact that how he told the press I was a thug and uneducated and all that other stuff that he had presented that I was that. So I ended up saying what degrees I had. And then this older woman, I think she was a council member, I'm not sure, because she had a bunch of makeup on her face, and she said, what is your point? And I said, my point is he needs to resign. Then I also asked him, can I make a citizen's arrest? And a lot of people said that they feared my life because everybody knows how Bob Odenkirk is. But I said, behind a badge, that's who he is. But personally, me front and center, I don't see that. He's just a bully behind a badge. Without that badge, he's not nothing to me. I don't care if he's a city mayor. I don't care who he is. But I have a thing is that what you're not going to do is defame my name because you have a problem with somebody speaking up and telling you about what you should be doing as a person of leadership. So there is a video. You can go to that. That was displayed on June 2nd. I'm going to go to that video. Go ahead, sir. June 2nd. You still see me or you don't?
No, I still see you.
Oh, okay, I'm just going to the video. I have a lot of stuff on my Facebook page. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get there so we can. And a lot of the news people knew by me going live that they knew I wasn't that type of violence. I don't condone violence at all. But I'm just like anybody else. I'm tired of what's going on in today's society, and the fact that they feel that it's okay for them to create violence against us in our properties and tearing us out of our homes and destroying our homes or going in there for search warrants, and then they have the wrong house. They could tear up our homes, but if we go out there and tear up neighborhoods or businesses, then we're in the wrong. So it's justifiable for us not to speak or be heard, or like you said, people are tired. Us talking and peaceful protesting has become, it's too much. This generation wants to see action.
Okay, hold on. Let me bring your, have you found it yet on your screen?
Yeah.
Let me know when you find it, and then I could bring it up.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Let me get, I'm almost there. Oh, this thing is going real slow. It's something going on with the
It takes a long time. It's really slow when you're streaming and doing these podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, here we go. Can you see it?
Wait a minute, hold on. I gotta add it.
Because Carl Lewis came out and told me the reason why that y'all thought I was coming out to the right in Joliet Police Department. Let me tell you, I'm gonna talk to you. And I don't condone violence. But what I'm not gonna do was change their Loretta Hobbs. I know. My name is Loretta Hobbs. I live here in Joliet. I graduated in 1992 from Joliet Central. I also have a degree at Southern Illinois University. I also have another degree at Colorado Tech University with an MBA. So the point I'm making today, I think we need to stop. Because wait a minute. I watched the video in MP3.
We've all watched it.
Slow it down, just to see. That boy did not attack you. You're not the police.
Yes.
You are a person that we elected.
Yes.
Our leader.
Yes.
Not ever be in person.
Yes.
No, I was so proud when you doing that.
Yes.
Thank you. You can never be in person.
Conflict of interest.
So what are you going to do today? Let me something. Can I do a citizen arrest? You committed battery to come jump in.
Yes, you did. Yeah, that's assault. I would have done assault.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. You got it.
No.
Let her respond.
Loretta,
Let her respond.
I'm so proud of you because I've been knowing you since you were a little girl. And so I'm proud of you. Was this something that came to you like I've got to do something about this situation, something you always wanted to do? Because, you know, when you decide to take on these injustices, because I'm taking on injustices and some people think I'm crazy, but it's like, no, I'm for injustice for all black men to make sure they receive their due process and
Right.
have a fair trial and everything.
Right.
And then if I know you personally, then that plays a part in different things too.
Right. But I don't know none of these young men. I'm not related to neither one.
You don't
The young
know
men that was violent.
it's just something that God put on your heart to do. Yeah.
Well, I think what really exacerbated everything going forward is, you know, some of us deal with some injustices that's outside of just police brutality. We deal with injustices that happen in the workplace. The systemic racism, intentional, the undertones, the microaggression, and an implicit and explicit bias that we could currently see on a daily. I don't believe police officers, they know they're intentionally doing it. They know what to get under our skin and cause an argument so they can make an arrest or have the right to shoot you. They already know. The tactics were taught in social, not social, I'm gonna say white supremacy groups, hate groups. There's so many different hate groups at this time that they ask for the young men to go out and get them under their belt and tell them what you need to do. The new tactics of causing the pressure on somebody's neck to cause them to lose air conscious and pretty much die. These tactics are also taught through the white supremacy groups, and they tell them you can use it while you're in force, because there is a thing called, let me bring that up too, something that just came to my attention, and it was called immunity for the police. Let me tell you, is the exact term that they have. I've been doing a lot of research. My mind is all over the place right now. I have been doing a lot of research on different things. My grandfather has always told me to become a lawyer years ago, because qualified immunity is what the police get. We can't attack their own finances. We can't go nothing. We have to sue the city. But let's talk about that. The money that we're suing the city for is the taxes that we already paid out. That money is not a separate fund or anything of that nature. And I believe that stuff like this should be taken out their 401k, their pension plans. I really do. I think it should be something to prevent people from doing this. The police already know they have this immunity, and it won't hurt them, their livelihood, unless they take their pension away. But I believe that if someone is doing this and you're taking their pension away, pay that out to the families. I know money ain't gonna solve the issue, but if you start making police responsible and not giving them that qualified immunity and start making them responsible and accountable for their actions, it'll be a lot. It'll be a lot of situations that change. Your check, your money being messed with, your livelihood, or you got to put your house up for sale because guess what? You attacked this person, or we got to take your car. Like they impound our car if we getting arrested on the highway somewhere, and let's say it's an injustice arrest, and they just arrested us forever. Our property gonna be sitting in impound, $700-800. Then it costs us almost $100 a night if we don't go get it on in time. So by the time we get out of jail or get bailed and set jail, we looking about $1,500 to $2,000 getting our car out of an impound. And I believe that since they're doing that to us, they need to oppose that same tactic on our police department in order for us to go forward. You got to not give them that qualified immunity. I hate that. That's, to me, you're putting a Band-Aid over the situation. And now you have people who don't trust the police. We just had an incident yesterday on the 13th, Aurora Police Department. You see them attacking that girl, and there was no justification for them.
No.
Ask her for her ID.
Yeah.
She was having seizures on the ground because this big man, he weighed about not even 100 pounds, and he attacked her how big he was to her. Again, our skin is not. I'm gonna use this analogy. We're not transformers. Let's get that. That's how they see us, like a the animal. They see us as a weapon. So they look at our black skin. It's like we changing it to some type of weapon, a gun or something to them. Why is our skin the reason why you're attacking us? And then if we talk about genetics, y'all came from us. If they don't even know anything about genetics, there was not a white race. It was a genetic mutation in us that caused the white race. I don't get it. If they do a DNA test, white people, their DNA test, they're going to have some type of Cameroon, Nigerian, Bantu, whatever it is in Africa in them. Period.
They're trying to steal our melanin. So
yes, and then they're also selling us and not getting our organs.
Well, that's why so many people are missing, because they're experimenting. That's why so many black girls, and I do believe that they were, taking these black girls off the street and using them as experimental projects. And I also feel like the guy that was killed in Atlanta, due to the Wendy's, Rashad, say his name.
Right.
I feel like once them cops put those handcuffs on him, he lost it. I don't care how drunk he was. Did you see him transform? He beat them. He beat them cops like two rag dolls and took their taser. That man was intelligent. He was speaking to them clearly and everything. But the minute the police touched him, his whole demeanor changed.
And why? And the reason why his demeanor changed is because, again, I already know what y'all been doing. Y'all been killing us at a high rate. So I'm gonna try to survive. We go into survival mode, and once we're in that survival mode, it's hard for us to come out of that survival mode. Right. Even though you're the law enforcement, again, just like Bob Odenkirk, I give praise to that man, that the young brother that jumped on Bob Odenkirk's back. Because if that was my sister,
well, you know it.
It would have been on in
public. I was about my sister. Wasn't nobody gonna mess with my sister or my brother. I defended them, and my child, regardless, you know.
And my children. That's a given.
People, I'm not gonna be anywhere unless somebody jump my family.
Yes, and you can't. That's what you're supposed to do. Protect your loved ones. And they're not, I understand you put yourself in this position to be a cop. You know the dangers of being a cop. But I also know that there's a lot of cops that become cops is because they were bullied in junior high and high school. So when they go behind a badge and the people that used to bully them, it could be all African-American kids, or he just had this chip on his shoulder that now I got a badge, I can do whatever I want. It's because they got that qualified immunity. Because they know I touch you and do something to you, I'm gonna get off. And if you got that mentality and mindset, it's gonna continue to be that way going forward.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you know, and I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the protest June 1st in Chicago.
Okay.
And I said, I'm going to Chicago and protest.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you protest out here in Joliet, it's going to be some mess. And people will tell you I said that. I said, Joliet police, something is going to happen. And sure enough, it did. Well, they tore up the city of Chicago, but that's all right because it don't look bad now. They done, you know, you could never tell.
It was, yeah, I've seen it. It's not bad at all because I tried to get my hair done.
Trying to make it cool. And then us coming from Chicago, moving to Joliet, it was such a culture shock because here we come from the days like, you know, we had breakfast in the morning at schools. We saw black leaders, saw black community. We saw black businesses. You didn't see too much of that. Well, at one time, the blacks did have Collins Street. But, you know, it was only just one token one, as I can say, that's always been on the city council or stuff like that. And does anybody know, has Councilman Terry Morris, has he spoke about the mayor?
He's not going to speak, and I'm gonna say this.
So what we need to do, because it was wrong. So there are other funeral homes that people can start having funerals at. Yeah, because he could have built a new funeral home in Joliet, as far as I'm concerned. But he has not spoke out against the mayor.
He's not.
Okay.
Because there's a reason for his not speaking. There's a reason for a lot of things. If you see people who get positions out of nowhere, there's a reason for that. It's always this underlining thing is that, like you said, it says you do something for me. If I do, I know what I did to you back in the past was wrong, but I'm gonna make my wrongs right since once I become an elected official, I'm going to do this for you. And that has been the scenario. That's politics. But at the same time, when you put people in position and give them the positions, like we remember Stroger, can't speak ill of Stroger, but there's some things, some tactics that his son did that allowed his cousin to have an $85,000 paying job who had felonies. And that job considered no felonies. You can't have no felonies or misdemeanors, but didn't even have the education that says on that qualification to do that job. So it's it's always been this scenario in Chicago and Joliet. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right. Right.
And
Well,
that's
that's
bad
mostly
in a sense.
all over. I
Mhm.
mean, all over. Because I went to live in two different states. I lived in Arkansas and in Texas. And so, things are the same. It's just different people and different faces. It's
Right.
the same no matter where you go, who you know, what you know. And it's not so much as the fact that, okay, they might have done favors for me, but where do you draw your line at?
Right.
Because it could be okay. I'm cool with you, but no, I ain't putting up with this mess. You done drew the line right here. So
Mhm.
me and you, we can't exist no more.
Yep.
And so I can't look at you jumping on my young black men.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there are funeral homes, and I'm sure people can take up some mortician classes. People can learn how to run funeral homes because we do need some up-to-date funeral homes in Joliet. We need a brand new funeral home where you can actually hold services, where you can seat up to 50 and 100 people and have a nice service, a nice big funeral home.
Okay, so let me piggyback on what you just said about the funeral home. I'm going March 28, 2017. My father passed. Me and my sister calling the hospital to find out where the body went. Lo and behold, it's at Minor Funeral Home. Whoever gave word to him that there's an African American sitting at the funeral home, we didn't know nothing about it. But my mom, psychologically going through what she was going through, my mom and dad been married 43 years before he passed. And the fact that somebody did that, it was appalling because we didn't know who had the body.
Wow.
But we did find out later when we found out Minor Funeral Home had it because we calling the hospital like they didn't even know at first. So finally, somebody at the hospital finally contacted me and my sister and let us know that the body was at Minor Funeral Home. We get down there. If we wanted to transport the body somewhere else, it can cost us up to $1,000, $1,200. So I think there's some underlying issues with either cops telling one another when, we picked up this body, not picked up the body, but my dad was taking an ambulance. Well, whoever is giving that information, Terry will be the first to have it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it works in his business. It didn't matter. We had the money to bury my dad. He had an insurance policy, a big one. So we were able to do what we needed to do. But that, in its hindsight, what if we didn't want to use my funeral home? We went ahead and used it because the body was there. Why would we transfer it right now?
Mm-hmm.
We're not transferring the dead. That's just nothing I didn't want my mama have to go through. That's just too much. We just did it there, got it over with, planned a funeral, and we end up having I know my dad's cousins. I'm gonna say Pastor Warren Doris. Garland Mays is my dad's cousin, and I'm related to the Moores in Joliet, Reverend Clyde Moore.
Right.
So we had the wake and services at Pastor Doris's at Prayer Tower. It was big. We had over 400 something odd people there.
Right.
We counted it.
Yes, I love Warren.
Yeah. So I'm just letting people know, because I know some people are starting to figure it out that they didn't know that we were cousins until somebody said, "Well, somebody told me y'all was yes, we're cousins." Yeah, my father's cousin on my father's side.
Since the 80s, he's a good man. Used to help him work the campaigns downtown and different things,
Mm-hmm.
And I hate, he didn't get elected mayor, but he's satisfied with it. God had another plan for him. And I hate when people bring up the fact that, oh, he's mad because he didn't make mayor. No, the man is mad because the mayor jumped on some black people, some black boys. You know, that's why I say people have to be careful, because they are going to send all kind of distractions, and people are going to talk all kinds of talk, and then won't nothing get done, because that's what they want people to do. So
But
I am proud of you.
even if he did, if this is my thing here, Bob, I'm gonna say this to you personally, Bob. If you're seeing this, stop trying to make people look bad when you already did that to yourself. You did not change from 2003 to 2020. 17 years later, you're still doing the same thing. So regardless of who lost the election against you years ago, that's not what this is about. This is about what you did wrong. You caused that injustice. And you know what? And you need to really think about your family right now and what position you're putting them in. Because this is not just on a state level, guy, because this is going to go further than that.
Right.
People are writing, sending packets of stuff. He's going to see it. And the fact that you made your files disappear, and anybody else that's involved in that, I'm gonna let y'all know, y'all better get yourself an attorney, because when it comes to the feds coming in and getting rid of Bob Odenkirk, he gonna take an immunity deal and he gonna throw every last one of them under the bus. And watch what I see. What? And we're gonna see it. It's gonna happen.
Now, Miss Loretta, do you fear for your life?
I'm gonna tell you this. I do have family members that are cops. He don't know that, but I do have family members that are cops. He don't know of those other family members. So if he feels that he's gonna have his cronies come after me and do anything like that, you don't want that mess in this town of Joliet. I'm just going to say that and leave it there. I'm not threatening nobody. I'm letting you know you don't want that noise here in Joliet. So you could tell your cronies all day. And then some of those people that I went to school with and I worked with some of them. Please don't follow Bob's lead. Because again, now that y'all know, I have family members that are cops. Past cops.
But you know, that video, this is what I can't understand, Miss Loretta. I'm calling you Miss Loretta.
Go ahead.
Giving you your respect. Is that people saw that video and they saw where he clearly went out there like he was a big bad cop, wasn't there, acting like a cop, like these people, they get ready to take their butts in the house and all this. He went out there and he touched that boy first.
Yes.
He touched him first. Now, what I'm having a problem with is people, you can see the video, but you still want to defend this man. He put his hands on the boy first, and the Joliet police beat up this boy. You saw this, but you won't believe it.
You know why? Because blacks has always been told, black and brown people are always been told through the 400 years that we've been oppressed, that it's only for us to be seen and not heard. So it's like how it was. You shut up when masters talk or say anything to you, you're supposed to bow down to that. And that's not what this is about. And that's how he acted. He had on a Joliet police cap. And from what I'm showing on some other videos, some side videos that I've seen, that man also had on his Joliet police tactical shoes that he wore when he was a cop. And that's the stuff that they wear when they're going out there beating the ground. Right. So he didn't go out there in the intentions of being the mayor. He went out there as RoboCop, a thug, and thinking to show off the men in blue, the men and ladies of blue, that I still have it. And that narrative I don't like, because you couldn't have did that to me.
Right.
Because oh Lord, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine what them young men are going through. And that's because they're black young men. And he knew who to pull that with. And it's so sickening that these cops can pick out who they can pick and choose of who they can do to deal with. I'm going to let you know, 2011, there was a gun pulled out on me. 2012, gun pulled out on me. 2013, 14, 2015, and 2017. Each incident involved a cop, a white cop. But because he was upset, like my kids would have never had a mom in 2011 because their mom knows the laws. And I was very tactical in what I was saying to those police officers. That's why they backed off and put their guns back in their holster and say, hey, ma'am, we're going to let you go. Each and every one of the times, the one time I got a warning ticket because he didn't even listen. I had my sticker. My sticker wasn't sticking on my plates. If you see the old plates that we got now, all the numbers are peeled off. So that stuff wasn't sticking. So it was causing my sticker to come off. I had to keep going to get me another sticker. He didn't care. He just gave me a warning to me not having a license plate sticker. And I said, he couldn't even arrest me because I told him, I said, here's the paper showing I paid for it. He didn't care. He still wrote me a warning ticket. But now that I'm thinking about how that could have turned around and been a different story for me, that's another reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today, because silence, I cannot be no more. It cannot be like that anymore. Now, if I see wrong, I got to report it. Just like everybody else, I'm telling everybody to report it. Now that there's other avenues for us to report it, we don't have to technically go to the police department. I'm telling everybody who are being refused by the chief of police or not taking your report, send in that FBI.gov tips. Under tips, you could do it on your phone. You could call that number and let them know who the police officer who is detaining you from doing that. Show them the video clips. You could upload video clips. You could do all that stuff. All your evidence, your paperwork, your tickets, screenshot. Take pictures of your stuff and screenshot it and upload it as uploaded documents. And if you need that help, please reach out to us on And Justice for All website, and we'll be willing to help you get those documents in and show you how to upload those videos, upload documents if you don't understand how to do it. If you don't know how to write your own statement and you have you're
right, because
people who can't write.
You can post a sample letter for people to write.
Yes. Yes. I can do the sample letters. A lot of people will be very excited to know that I am well versed in law. I don't have a law degree, but I read up on a lot of stuff. And I keep myself with with new information all the time, so I can move myself forward, because if I don't keep up with society, then I'll be, subject to everything else that happens around me. If I don't stay informed.
Well, we do have some black paralegals in town, and we have a black judge. I don't know if that black judge we have down there.
You talking about Vincent Cornelius?
Yes. I don't know if it would be a conflict of interest.
I think right now, I don't know what his I would have to look into his stuff and what he can't do. There's a lot of stuff he can't do.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. They probably can't do anything since they are a judge. But I'm pretty sure there are some paralegals here in town. We have some black paralegals. They could be giving free advice to people on what to do. But then again, we would just have to see who's going to come out and say this is wrong, who don't want to buck the system.
Right.
And, or just let it roll over. And we don't care what anybody has done in their past. We don't care. We're concerned about what people are doing now in their lives. And Loretta and her organization, they need people that's going to help them, stand by them, people that are not going to let distractions get in the way of their thinking.
Okay, so I just want to give you guys information. Burnell Simmons is our founder. You got Tony Lachelle, she's a co-founder. Myself, I'm a co-founder, and Stephen Newell is also a co-founder. If you guys need information, my number again is 708-845-6009. You can reach me on Facebook, Loretta Hobbs. You can reach us on their Twitter page, Injustice for All, and also Facebook, Injustice for All. But there's a lot of things that we're going to start moving forward to. We're going to be there's going to be events coming up. We're going to have like a school supply drive. We're going to have a lot of events coming up for the children and stuff. And we also we're going to have some donors donate like scholarships to our seniors. And we're going to have a slate of how you do that template where you can apply for that scholarship, and we'll go through we'll have a committee of people to do the scholarship foundation for us. And that way to offer a book scholarship to a senior that's going into college.
Right.
And they would have to keep a certain GPA to keep the scholarship. And they would only get a one-time payout scholarship because we would have to formulate that going further for others. And then I'm hoping that if the organization grows any bigger, I'm hoping to see if we can have scholarship funds where we reward one student to pay their whole entire tuition off for the whole entire 4 years. And that depending on how their GPA presents itself during the course of the year. So you guys will be seeing information regarding that. We're also looking at a shoe drive.
Organization.
Yeah, I'm also thinking about shoe drives. I'm actually getting ready to work with Nike and do some proposals on that. We're not going to be able to get everybody. Joliet District 86 is a big district. District 204 is a big district. We're going to have to figure out a way how we can do that. But those proposals I am getting ready to set up as soon as my 501c gets approved. And you'll see those coming. Those things are those initiatives that we're working on, and working on other things to help our children with education resources. I do know that people, please, if you go to Joliet Central, please take Ernest Krim's class. If you don't do anything else, kids, Joliet Central kids, high school kids, I went to Joliet Central, I'm an alumni. Take any classes that you see with Ernest Krim, please, because he's going to give you a lot of insight when it comes to Black history.
Well, I feel like Black history should be taught. It should be it should be a requirement. It should not, it should be mandated for everyone to have Black history.
I'm gonna say yes. Then we have to incorporate every other history. See, that's where we're gonna have. How are they gonna implement those type of histories into a school forum? How would you do that? Would you do African American Lit? Because African American Lit also talks about the history itself. Now, my daughter at Rich Central High School, she got to choose whether her English class in her senior year, she took African American literature, which went into the history of that foundation. And Rich Central, it's a predominantly Black school, and that's in Olympia Fields. They would have to allow the kids to be able to choose that. Instead of taking U.S. history, can I take Black history? Can I take the Hispanic history? I mean, that is something that the school, and then we have to find teachers who are able to teach that, and they're qualified to teach that, because not everybody can teach Black history or Hispanic history or any other minority history. It has to be someone who can be able to teach that. And that's the only thing we can do. We got to formulate that somehow. But the thing is, we need to be at those meetings for the school boards and talk about that situation, talk about how they need to use that. Because other schools and like predominantly African American communities, they have that option to take Black literature, Black African literature, or Black history, instead of have to take a U.S. history as a form of part of their curriculum for school to graduate. That has to be dealt with. And the only way we can do that is if we put people in positions to be able to help that. When you have a superintendent who is not for us, the Black and brown communities, they're not going to push that issue. They're not. And the only way we can get that is if we have someone, the superintendent of school, our assistant superintendent of schools, have to be the one who keeps pushing that narrative to have that option for African American students and Latino students at our school in order for that to happen. I haven't took Black history at SIU. I was blown away because the history I learned about in high school wasn't the same. I went to that school, SIU. Oh my God, I was flabbergasted. It was so much stuff that I didn't know.
Right.
But I know now. And I keep myself, it's still a lot more to read because it's so many authors out there. You got to be careful who the author is too.
Right.
You got to be careful of the author who you read. You definitely have to be careful of the authors you're reading the books by. And it's really hard. The only thing we can do is change it that way. That's all I can say, Miss April. It's like really, I wish.
Right.
It wish, but we would have to go to those meetings. And then when they hold the meetings, sometimes it's too early. You got people who are working 2 jobs. It's really hard for these parents to be at meetings. I'm not even kidding you. I couldn't do it. I was working 2 jobs. Two full-time jobs just recently. And I was working for a foster care agency and doing my job at Blue Cross Blue Shield. I mean, 2 full-time jobs. That's 80 hours a week.
Right.
I mean, it's when you gotta support your family, you know, you gotta uplift the household, and then you got me, I got college loans. So when you're doing all of that, it's really hard for parents to get out there and go to those meetings because they may have to work 2 jobs in order to care to their own household. It's not easy out here. And we also need to talk about the economic low-income housing stuff that's happening. I just hope they just think Evergreen was the all to be all, and the new houses on the south end, and then they tearing down the hill. I mean, they haven't even decided to do that. I'm thinking they should take over Larkin Village out there, Larkin Village and Burton Place, and making those into low income housing. Period.
Oh, are they?
No, they should.
Oh, okay.
Because there's not enough low income housing anywhere.
In Joliet, no, there
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, and they're trying to remove themselves from that. They're trying to be this high sedity. Not everybody has the money and funds to live and pay, you know, the rent out here. A 1-bedroom, I think they said a 1-bedroom route is averaging $950
Yeah, $900 to $1,000 a month.
plus. How? And I'm just saying, the 20-year-old kid that I have, a 20-year-old kid is going to be 21. And she said, I want to go out and live with myself. I said, how? I'm trying to do her, you know, this is your car insurance and your rent, and you got to pay electric and a phone bill, and you got to get gas to go back and forth for work. You're going to have to need that second job because you're going to need food in your house.
Correct.
So it's just like it's a cycle, you know, it's a cycle, and it's bad. It's real bad.
Right. And that cycle needs to be broken.
And then they tend to raise the rent when they tore down the hill. I noticed like Sutton Place, the Woodlands, Larkin Village, the Birches. I'm naming off all the apartment complexes. Pine Meadow. Why are y'all raising your rent, especially Larkin Village? Y'all need to be ashamed of yourself. Because I've seen the inside of your apartments. Y'all don't have big kitchens. You don't have walk-in closets. You don't have granite tops. You have them old refrigerators and stoves in the house. You got the old air conditioners that fall apart. I've been in there. I lived there for 3 years.
Yeah, I moved from there. Oh, when did I get cancer? But I was in a newly renovated apartment, and I liked my apartment and my building that I stayed in.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
and then they raised your rent $50. or $100, depending on what the market rent is. And my thing is, if I could go to Chicago right now, like the apartment I have right now, my apartment is fantastic. It's huge. It's about 11 to 1,200 square foot. Actually, I think it's more than that. I think it's about 1,500 square foot. I have high ceilings. I could put a 20-foot tree in this in my in this condo. My kitchen is very huge. My thing is, they know when African Americans and the Latino community start to try to, as soon as our income raises, they raises the rent to prevent us from living in there. They already don't want us living there because we're Black. And that's bad in itself. And I've seen that, and my daughter is going through a situation like right now because of that. I'm not gonna say the apartment complex, the two in question, but there's some underlying issues that they think they're gonna get away with or not. So it's a lot going on, and I'm here for them injustices for her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all not gonna start that. And now she in a path, and now they're trying to do everything they can to help her out. Now, no, y'all should have did this before. And hey, we coming after them.
Right.
It's just too much. The living expense.
Girl, it's too much. It's too much going on right now in the world. But I want to say I am most thankful. And I am so proud of you. I want everybody to know I knew Loretta when she was a young girl, her entire family, whole family. And I am so proud of the woman that she has become. And I'm going to do everything in my power to help her in her organization. If I have to do these live streams and do everything to bring awareness, because you know, a lot of people, I didn't even know when y'all had that protest in front of the police station. Because I can remember commenting like, did y'all advertise this? Because I didn't know about it. So,
but you know, when it was like, you got to realize now, I talked to Bernell like at 1 o'clock in the morning. We talking about this man is crying, and we just decided to do something. And I just went live.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't a planned thing. Okay.
No,
so
it was not.
Okay.
It was because
now I feel better because I was like, now wait a minute. How they expect people? Which y'all had a nice crowd, and that was fine. But I was like, did anybody know about this?
We're gonna have flyers of our other events going forward. We're gonna have flyers. We're gonna do all that. It's just like I said, this is new to us. I mean, well, I have been in nonprofit organizations before because I'm also a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. So, in other organizations, Black Interests in Business, oh my goodness, all the organizations. I was in 11 organizations at SIU. I had a full plate ahead of me, but I know what it is to get these stuff started, but you got to start at the bottom and then build from there. And then sooner or later, you guys will see advertisements. You'll see that stuff coming along as we go along. And these next events, we're actually doing a calendar now to do some events coming up in probably the end of July, closer to the school year. So we just can help out where we need to at this point, because these kids need a safe haven. And I fear, I'm sorry, that's my granddaughter, it's newborn. I fear that the target is getting younger and younger, just like Billy Bailey Jr., a young man that was targeted back, I think it was in 2018. I'm not sure what date it was, but Ernest had it on his page, Ernest Krim. And he was 13 years old with a gun in his back. Psychologically, what does that man was only in 8th grade. What does that do to him going through that? What is the fear? I don't even want to grow up because I got to deal with this.
Right.
It's not right. And the fact that the police are attacking the young men at a younger rate, I fear for the young girls. They have to go through the same thing.
Right.
The same thing. We're talking about young
with their boyfriends, and something happened to them. Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
I'm just right now. We need to see where we can stop this. I know they're trying to do stuff at legislation. I know House Pelosi then did something where the jobs about racial discrimination. They didn't put something through U.S. Department of Justice, and they trying to the EEOC passed something. There's a lot of stuff that's being passed, but passing stuff and implementing and making it accountable and giving the right sentences for these men is going to be the thing that I really feel that if they don't give Derek Chauvin, I think his name's Chauvin, the guy that killed George Floyd,
Right.
if they don't give him 25 plus years.
Oh.
I'm going to say they thought Rodney King was bad, and I don't condone violence, but you're gonna have people tear up the neighborhoods, and that's because even though these corporations said that they stand by us, the only reason why they're saying that today because we have $1 trillion in spending power. That's why these companies are doing that, because they don't want to lose our businesses. They don't want us to have Black Wall Street again, like we had back in 1941 in Tulsa. They don't want us to do that. But I have a feeling that's what's going to happen, and they're going to end up tearing up these other buildings because y'all not listening, and y'all still not listening. If that man don't get 25 plus years,
right,
it's gonna be
my thoughts also.
Honey,
it's going down.
Yes,
it's going down.
And there's nothing to do. And then the fact
I'm gonna tell you, I was traumatized.
Yeah.
I was traumatized looking at that man. I could not sleep. That was another reason I had to go out there and protest. Only thing I kept doing was seeing this man's face with his hands in his pockets.
Yeah.
And can't nobody tell me this man ain't did this before.
Oh yeah, he done it before.
He done killed some people before. And I'm telling you how many bodies he got buried. People say I'm crazy when I say it. I'm like, he enjoyed doing what he did. You can look at his face. He was looking at y'all like, I did this, I done did it before, and so what? He didn't care.
Did you notice that the other sheriff's department, that was the city police, but did you see the sheriff department actually putting that man in the back of the wagon, the wagon? They didn't, that wasn't paramedics that put that man in that George Floyd in the back of that ambulance. That was their sheriff department. So why didn't medical help come? EMTs come. If you look at that video,
they knew what he was gonna do.
Well, they knew he was. I'm saying is that you should still have EMTs on the scene. You didn't even have that. You didn't even have a coroner on the scene. The fact that you have the sheriff department putting this man in the back of an ambulance, that shows volume. Because they already probably called on the radio that he was already dead. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's still, it should have been a paramedic on the scene with that individual. And that's not what they did. And I feel it's a lot of cover up in this. It's cover up. I feel sorry.
They've been doing that down there. And this cop been doing that too. Because he had all these kind of complaints. Just Odekirk got complaints against him.
Yep.
And seriously, his personnel file has come up missing. And I'm glad that the Chicago Tribune and Sun-Times is reporting on this as well, because that brings in other attention too for Joliet to be investigated.
Right. So another thing that people could do too is like go up there and you can get a search of Bob Odekirk's arrest of cases that he had to testify in. Because there's a lot of cases that he didn't have to testify in as a police officer. If we get all those cases, tear those cases apart, and we're in the narrative and the description of these young men, it's going to tell they was violated by him, or he was hit or punched. You don't even have to do that. We could do a search by the arresting officer who testified against why they had certain courts. Because I'm sure he had to testify a whole lot in some of his cases when they had to ask him questions about his arrest with these individuals. So I just think it's more than meets the eye. They can't cover up an actual case file. You can go into the courts and get that. And we might have to pay for it, but I'm willing to do that. To pull all these cases by who arrested him and go through and underline and highlight stuff. I have a big enough unit where I will set up shop in here and have me and our organization set up and put tabs on stuff. I got plenty of paper, notebooks. We're ready. We started to get ready. We're getting rolling. And as soon as we get this off the ground,
right,
man.
So please repeat the name of the organization again and the members, and so we can wrap this up, and then how people can contact you guys.
Okay, and it's
say it slow for us.
Okay.
Us elderly people, like when we writing it down.
Okay.
All right.
The word is and, A-N-D.
Small caps.
You could, if you Google it, when you Google it in Facebook or Twitter, it doesn't matter if it's in caps or not.
All right.
So and, A-N-D.
Okay.
Just, J.
Small less, J-U-S.
T.
Okay.
Yep. Us. That U-S. Together. Just us is together. The number 4, and then all, A-L-L. And you see us on a Twitter page. We also have a Facebook page. And if you want to reach us by email, it's and just us, the number 4, all 20 at gmail.com.
Okay.
So we will be getting more information out to everybody.
Well, honey, I'm going to pray for you and your organization. I'm going to also pray for your safety, not like we're concerned about it, but, when you decide to go against these big fish,
yeah,
not like they're going to do anything to you, but stop, we're going to, I'm going to pray for you to be covered with the blood of Jesus.
Thank you.
Times. Because like I say, they will send in distractions.
Yeah, I know.
I
know. I know.
I ain't worried about your safety. I'm talking about these distractions they going to send in, make people think that they care about you and they don't give a darn about you. They were called in to be a distraction. To get y'all off y'all feet and to keep y'all down.
Right.
But I want to thank you so much, and I am so proud of you. And tell the family I said hello.
I will.
Seeing you.
All right.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, everybody that joined the broadcast. It is also on YouTube. I'm going to post it. Miss Loretta, I'm going to post it on your site so then you can share it to people. Okay. And then if you just keep me informed,
yes, I will.
And then I'll be right there at the meetings, and then I'll bring my phone and I can do live right there.
Okay. All right.
And I do mine through a streaming service.
Okay. All right.
And I am just so glad that somebody is finally doing something in Joliet.
I will continue that fight. I'm going to continue that fight because it's in me now. I gotta finish.
Right. So I'm glad that the good Lord put it on your mind to do this and get it done. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If nobody else thanks you, I thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And don't forget, you can contact Miss Loretta Hobbs at andjustforall20@gmail.com. And she did list her phone number. You can contact her on Facebook as well. And she will get right back to you and give you all the information that you need. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.